Hey everybody, it's the Trout, and I hope you're having a great day, and welcome to this episode of the Trout Show. Today I go all the way across the planet to Perth, Australia to interview a young lady, Perrie, who talked to me about her upcoming career in the music industry. Now you're probably wondering, how do I find these people all the way across the planet? Well, I'm always looking on the internet and the social media to find some talented young people, whether it's independent artists or people that are pretty well known where they are, to give them an opportunity to maybe be exposed to more people to listen to them. Bailey's no different, except one thing. She's just only 15, and she's starting to write some wonderful, great pop songs that are starting to get a lot of airplay down in Australia. Not only that, her socials are blowing up a little bit. She has over 700,000 views on her YouTube, and people keep following her on Instagram and TikTok. And Bailey sat down with me. She was actually in her car traveling with her mother to another location when she talked to me for a few minutes. And that's what I have to do. Wherever they have time to talk to me, artists spend time with me and talk about their careers. Of course, she's had a short career, but she's already making headway down there. As I said, she's winning awards and she's getting a lot of exposure. So I look forward to you listening to or watching this episode about Perrie and her pop music. But before we get there, remember, if you like this episode, give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe to my channel if you like what we do. It is very, very much appreciated. So up next, all the way down under, with upcoming star Perrie, talking about her musical career and her upcoming music. That's next on The Trout Show.
I've been talking way too much, though I have nothing good to say. Been doubting what I've done, thinking I'm wrong in every way. So I'm gonna shut off, have a day to myself, eat what I want and not feel any guilt. See who asks first if I'm okay, and I'll say I'm better now. You ask, glad to know you have my back. Through the thick and the thin, I can count on you when I'm not winning. You can read me like a book and ask me all your questions, and I'll answer, 'cause you're my unpaid therapist.
So the album that you do, so the one you just finished and you're working on it, but that one song that you had that was real popular, Therapist, what was it called?
Unpaid therapist.
Okay. That's gotten some play because I was looking at how many people have watched it, and you've had a lot of people watched your YouTube videos. You've had over 700,000 views. That's not too shabby, young lady. And you got over
Yeah.
80,000 people follow you on Instagram. I assume you do TikTok too, or not?
Yeah, I do TikTok.
Okay. And how many people follow you on TikTok? Quite a few?
About 3,000, but I've only just started with in the last
Okay.
few months.
So why do you think your music is being, and I noticed all the awards and everything you have and all that stuff, why do you think people really like your music so much? What is it about it you think they like?
I like to think it's like the positive message in it. I do try to write very much like taking like obvious sort of message and writing it in a complicated, positive sort of way.
Hmm.
But yeah, I hope it's also like the upbeat tempo. I hope they just like my voice as well.
Well, that helps.
Yeah.
Yeah, that helps. And so you write almost all your compositions you write on the piano. You sit down and try to get an idea what you want to do.
I write majority, and then from there I'll kind of switch them up into what genre I want, because if I keep just going with the piano, I'll keep writing piano ballads.
Yeah.
But I might just like spice them up, add a bit of a beat. But sometimes I do write without the piano when I'm really trying to focus on making it pop, or sometimes I'll write and then I'll add the piano. So it's very much, it varies every time I write.
And I noticed that what's your favorite social media? Do you use Instagram more, or what do you, I noticed that you kind of keep up on your YouTube also, but what's your favorite
Um, my favorite would have to be Instagram, but using wise, I kind of spread across all the platforms and I use all the platforms equally, I'd say.
That that's the hard as a musician myself. That's the hardest thing is trying to keep up with all the social media stuff because it's
Yeah,
that's it's just a lot of work and
yeah.
doing reels and all that stuff. And I know some people do a very good job at it. I'm not very good at it, but well, what do you want to do? Is this something you think you want to do the rest of your life? I mean, you kind of started out. I started playing, writing songs when I was about your age, actually younger. I think I was
Yeah,
12. I think I was 12 when I started writing, so you're 11. So what do you want to do?
I want to be touring, performing music. I want to finish my second album. That's up there on the bucket list. And yeah, I want to just get it heard, keep singing, performing, just anything to do with music I want to be doing.
Now, in your country, are you, I noticed that you're really popular, but are you popular in both sides of the continent, or are you just, are people all over the country know about who you are, or you're just, or is it just in Perth, or how's that happening for you?
It's well, Perth is really small, so I kind of just everyone kind of knows each other anyway. But
Okay.
I'm better known over east in like Tamworth, which is where all the country stations are. And starting to get heard in a few more commercial stations as well, which is great.
Do you, when you go in the studio, do you have a producer, people that help you out?
I do. I have a wonderful producer named Kyle.
That's good. Gotta have a producer. Don't care who you are. And you gotta have people. Well, you need somebody to kind of keep you on track and all that stuff and doing that stuff. It's so much. It's
Yeah,
changed so much, Bailey, from when I was your age. You couldn't get in the studio because it was so expensive that the record labels you had to hope you got signed by a record label or you couldn't afford to go in. And
yeah,
you couldn't go out and press a bunch of records. So now you put something out and you put it on streaming or like you do. And
yeah.
I'm trying. And I remember, yeah, you did some. Yeah, I noticed that one you did a video with a couple of your songs, haven't you? Where you've gone out and had somebody shoot a video for your song.
Yeah, they're usually pretty home planned. So I usually storyboard and like organize the videos, and then my parents just like reel me in, making sure it's not like not accomplishable, which I've gotten pretty good at making them like no budget. Like, believe it or not, my last music video probably only cost about $100, $200 altogether. And that was purely for like costuming, but the filming and everything was absolutely free because we just used our own camera and stuff like
Well,
that.
sure.
And I edited the whole video.
There you go. So from start to finish, you're the person, right?
Kind of, yeah. I gotta give my parents some credit, but
Just yeah, yeah. You're here because of them, so that's important to give them credit for that. So
yeah.
do you have brothers and sisters?
I have a brother. His name is Connor. And he also loves music as much as I do, but he's going through the phase of the vocal change. So
Ah,
he's just waiting a little bit before he starts releasing music.
and do your parents, do they play any kind of music? Do they have any, they like music? Do they play any instruments?
My whole mum's side is Irish, so they're all the musical side. Um, and my dad is tone deaf, so I'm lucky to get his singing. But
I love it.
yeah, they do love music. Dad loves listening to music, and he's very good at the instrumentation and analyzing the instruments. Whereas my mum's very good at like if there's a line that doesn't make sense, she'll be like, "You should think about changing that," sort of thing. She's more the songwriting. My dad's more the instrumentation.
Well, it sounds like you got a good crew there that are listening to you, and that's good because at your age, been working with some very young talent. One's a 15-year-old guitar player and singer, and he's already getting a lot of experience. I mean, people are already picking him up and seeing him because he's becoming famous already at his age. So, in your situation, it's a little different. You like Perth, but then you want to go over to the other side of the country And I've watched enough documentaries from your country. There's nothing in between, so you can't.
Uh,
No, so it's like a long ways over there to do what you need to do.
yeah.
Now, do you go out and perform? Have you done any of that as far as going and putting a band together or tracks and listening to it and just performing?
Um, Doing more performances is the goal for this year. But I haven't done much of it. I did do a performance not too long ago. It was my first performance of the year at the Channel 7 Crab Fest. But yeah, that's all I had done so far. And people seem to enjoy it. So it made me realize I want to do a lot more of it.
Well, that's important that people enjoy it. And as a songwriter myself, excuse me, there's nothing better than people liking your music.
Yeah.
And then when you start playing it and they start singing along with it, that's really cool when that happens too. So, it's that way. And any thoughts about coming to the States? I'm sure
Oh,
you've
I
thought
would
about.
love to. Oh, love to. It's just a matter of money at the moment, but I would absolutely love to come to this.
Well, that's one of the things I did when I started this channel was to be able to help people like yourself, because I have friends in different places in the business. I have friends in Nashville, which is the country capital of the world. So,
No.
and trying to bring people like you, if there's a talent, I can bring them and say, "Hey, what do you think of this?" And then, and who
Thank
knows? Well, and then somebody picks and listens to it and go, "Oh, we'll fly her up here." And you
Oh, that would be amazing.
Well, you need to build up your fan base down there, which this is what you're doing now, and
Yeah.
and keep you get a little more complicated because you go to school, and I'm trying to remember. You guys go to school all year round. You have certain weeks that you break, or I mean, you're on a break now.
We break every 10 weeks for 2 weeks, and then so it's kind of complicated. We have 10 weeks, then a 2 week break, 10 weeks, 2 week break, 10 weeks, 2 week break, 10 weeks, and then a 6 week break
Okay, and
before we
and
change and go up here.
and what do your friends think of you? What do they say? Do they like what you're doing?
They're very supportive.
That's good.
I'm one of those people who it's kind of like I don't really tell the people at school because then it kind of gives me the confidence to just like do my own thing because I don't know. It's strange, but I kind of just like to stay in my own lane. Like, just like if they find it, I don't mind, but I don't like necessarily go and tell them to like
No,
follow me and all
I
that
understand
stuff.
that. Sure, I understand it.
Yeah.
And that it's one of those things that you kind of want to tell people, but it's like if they don't know, it's okay, because there may be some people that don't really they're jealous. It's really what happens too, and you start becoming really popular, and they're like, I don't like her. Why? She's famous, I'm not. So, it's so and it's funny. I just interviewed a great artist. She's from the UK, but she lives in America now in the States. She was discovered when she's 15 and by a very
Oh,
famous producer, and she didn't even know who he was. Her dad, she put a band together. She's a blues guitarist and artist. She's a great artist, great guitar player. And her dad came in one day and said, "Hey, guess who's on the phone?" And she goes, and it was a very famous person. And so she was discovered then, and now she's 38, and she's been touring ever since then. That's what she does for a living.
nice,
So
nice.
that's maybe what you get to look forward to one day, you
That's
know.
the goal.
And tell me a little bit about when you, because being a songwriter, I know the creativity comes for different people at different times. Do you just sit down and have an idea, or do you kind of see things and go, or have a melody in your head? How does that work for you a little bit when you start writing a song?
Um, it's hard. It like I have to have a theme or a word that I'm kind of trying to go with, and then I'll write about that, and then just see how it goes. It really like just happens. It's hard to explain, I find, but yeah,
Yeah, writing songs is you can't explain it unless you write songs, then you kind of understand. You don't know where it comes from, but it just shows up, and then if you're like me and have been writing for years, then you wonder if it's going to disappear. Sometimes it goes away, and then sometimes it comes back. But what I was going to say was it's a little more complicated for you because you have to go to school and then do this thing at the same time. And so it gets a
Yeah.
little more complicated for you because I'm sure if you wanted, you probably would like to do this all the time, even at your age. You'd probably want to go out and go to the studio, make records, go out and perform. And so who do you like now as far as your people you listen to that you like that you'd
Um,
like to hear?
well, I think I love Taylor Swift. Definitely an inspiration. I love, I'm going through a One Direction phase, so I'm loving the One Direction music at the moment, which means I'm branching into their solo careers as well. So I'm loving like Harry Styles, and all that. Um, I also vocally am inspired by Kelly Clarkson.
Mm,
I think her vocals are amazing. I love Adele. There's so many, and I really like try to like expand and experiment like in their styles as well because it's like I want to write a Taylor Swift style song, I want to
yeah.
write an Adele style song. Like it's you want to write all the style songs, but you've also got to hone in on what you're good at. So it's also experimenting to find what you're most comfortable doing.
I think that the older you get, the more that you listen to people, it starts influencing more. That's just the way it is for everybody, you know. And the hardest, I think it's difficult, I think, to stay in your lane, like you said earlier, because it's easier, like you said, oh, I love that Taylor Swift song. I'm going to write something like it. And then when people hear it, they go, that sounds like Taylor Swift singing. I mean, it's like Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
And it's like, so you have to kind of, and you probably already know this, have to grab a little bit from each song and go, okay, I like this, I like that. And Kelly is from Texas. Kelly's a Texas
Yeah.
girl, although she has no accent now. She probably got rid of all of it and stuff. So, I assume you read music. Do you understand all that theory stuff that goes into writing a song?
Yeah, I know all of my songs are chords because I'm a bit boring like that, but I know enough piano to experiment with different chords and find new melodies and all that sort of stuff. So that's
Well, and that's probably the hardest thing is because, and with me, I don't know about you, when I start writing, I might record 3 or 4 songs and throw 3 of them away, going, I don't like that, because I'm sitting here in my studio right now. You see all the guitars behind me, but I'm sitting here. This is where I record, and then if I'm lucky, I can go into a big studio with friends. But that takes time, and you write a song, and I'm sure this happens too. You get the mood, and you're like, oh man, I need to do this and write it, and
good.
then
Yeah.
you got to go. Oh, I got to go to school, you know. So kind of takes.
Sometimes I find myself writing at school as well. So
Well, I will tell you
in
this
music
is.
class.
I was going to say. So this artist I just interviewed, when she was growing up, she wouldn't pay any. She was watching. She was reading about music or listening to music while she was in class, and her friends would pay attention to the teacher, right? And then when the teacher would ask her a question, she had no idea what they were asking, but they would pass the note to her and go, "Here's the question." Oh, okay. So, and that's really good friends that cover for you
Yeah.
like that. So I think
Yeah.
it's really cool to see. I love young talent like yourself. I want to see people like you uh, continue to grow, because you've got a ways to go. But I mean, I say that, I mean, like, you're a great artist already, but you'll just grow bigger and bigger. A lot of people I talk to in the business, they don't release the album all at the same time. They release one song every once in a while. That seems to be
Yeah.
more popular now. And is that something you're probably going to do or have already done that?
That's what we're doing. Just because it also allows you to do more promotion and it allows you to like spread it out over time. So it's not like all in one go. You're like hoping that it goes well. You get multiple chances to give it a go.
So when you get finished, you have 12 tunes, then you got to decide which one you want to put out first.
Yeah, which is good because I chose to put out Unpaid Therapist first because I was so excited about it.
So tell me how that became so popular. How did that get picked up and people started listening to it?
Well, it's a lot of doing research, seeing who's going to help you promote it, who's going to help it get heard. Finding an audience for it, you've got to know like who you're aiming to target it towards. I also made lots of TikToks. I posted it on Instagram a lot, posted it on Facebook. You kind of just got to get it out wherever you can.
Where's been the biggest response? Where, I mean, what part of the country? Your area or other parts of the country?
Definitely over Eastern Australia, I'd say.
And why do you think that is?
I think it's because they already knew me the best, like coming into it. Because they had played some of my other music as well. So it was because of that. And I was able to get a lot of radio interviews from over there, which was also great.
Do you remember the first time you heard your song on the radio?
I do. It's just like because you can plug things in and you can Bluetooth to your car now. Like it just feels surreal. Like you feel like you're playing it from your phone or something. It's like you have to think it's coming from a station.
Yeah. That had to feel good though.
It did feel good.
I mean, when you got people playing your music, it's like, wow,
Mm-hmm.
and you realize that other people are listening to it and you go, okay, I'm on the radio. Well, on a stream or whatever whatever you're going to be on. And so how long do you think it's going to take you? What's your goal in getting this next album out? How long do you think? Well, let me rephrase it. When do you want to be finished with it? What's your goals to be finished with it?
I want to be finished with the album as of end of May, beginning of June, and then from there on we're just doing 10 weeks like in between releasing. So I am actually announcing my newest song that will be released in like the next 5 weeks.
Okay.
Today. So that's called Maybe I
Cool.
Did.
So I'm going to change the subject a little bit. Aren't you, I don't know much about, I know a lot about your country, but isn't this your winter comes up pretty soon, or do you have winter in Perth? Is it moderate there, or does it get cold there?
Yeah, it's autumn at the moment.
That's
so
what I
it's going
thought.
into winter. And it was quite cold when I woke up this morning, so that's why I got a jumper on.
Yeah, it's just the opposite of America. It's just so weird for us, just going like, we're coming into our summer and you're going into your winter. And
Yeah.
it's like you're going to be cold and we're going to be hot. That's just,
Yeah.
just but yeah, don't you think it's cool that we can sit here and talk to each other and you're about 8,000 miles away? I mean, think about
I
that.
think it's awesome.
I think it's really cool
It's
that we
so
can do
cool.
this and
Yeah.
share, and share what you want to do with your musical career. I feel that I'm pretty good at judging character and musicality. I think you're going to be pretty popular.
Thank you.
I think one day I keep track of people like I guess I think I did follow you on Instagram. And when I see you coming to the States, so here's the rule I always tell everybody I interview. If you come to Dallas, you have to give me free tickets. So I can come see you. And
Okay.
a lot of people I interview never come to Dallas because they are in different countries. Sometimes they do come through. But other than that, well, I don't want to keep you anymore. I know you're probably getting, going to have a party. Or did you say it's a birthday party or breakfast party or whatever?
Yeah, it's birthday breakfast.
And whose birthday is it? Friend of yours or yours?
A friend of mine. Her name's Erin.
Well, it's nice of you to go. And taking time out to talk to me, I really appreciate it. So
Yeah, sorry about it being in the car.
no. I love this because normally I'm talking to people in their hotel rooms. I had interviewed a gal in Mexico City. She was in her kitchen. I never know where people are going to be, and if you're on tour, you're going to be, in a hotel room. I had one I interviewed last year, a band. And he stood outside of the venue that he was going to perform at and sat down outside and did the interview. So being in the car doesn't bother me a bit. You're
Awesome.
It also tells me that you're on your way to becoming famous. I can say that.
Oh.
So you have a great day. Tell your mom thank you very much. And
thank you so much for having me.
My pleasure.